We post the training sessions on elogiclearning.com where we post our webinars. So if you ever need to view this session again or share it with your coworkers, it is available online for you to watch over again. I personally will not be watching it over again, but that's up to you. Okay, I'll move this over here. So welcome to the Content Page Management Best Practices webinar. I am Tommy DeMasi. I've been with eLogic since April of 2014. Prior to that, I worked with a company that used eLogic as their vendor. We implemented eLogic back in 2007, and I was part of that implementation and worked as an administrator for the LMS primarily most of that time with the last company, so for about 7 years. And before joining the team, I also did other types of systems with my old company, so we implemented a benefits website as well as an HR site. So I have an analyst background as well as I have a degree in marketing. So I have a little bit of here and there. I've lived in Florida since I was 4, so it's been a lot of years. And I am a mother of a 4-year-old. That's a picture of my son, Calvin. And I'm one on the way. So I have another one on the way, another little boy. And my husband, I have a husband. We both live here in Land O'Lakes. And enough about me. Let's get started with the training. I'm going to leave you, I'm not going to mute you for right now because there's only a few of you on the line. If anyone has any background noise, I might mute them. But other than that, please feel free to interrupt me with any questions. You can also chat them if you feel more comfortable. I will have a chat open so that I can see if you're chatting them. But otherwise, please go ahead and stop me if you have any questions. So today we're going to be talking about the content management area. We're going to identify the content management areas that are available for you to brand, put your images, media, basically getting the message out to your users and being able to touch those users in the pages that they're going to and within your LMS. Design, we're going to look at design versus HTML. If you have that resource within your company, HTML is a great way to liven up your content pages. Creating a content page, so we're going to actually look at how to create one, and then we're going to how do we use the editor. I'm going to flip over to my screen. Can you all see my screen okay? I better check before we get moving.
Yep.
Chat. Oh, thank you. Great. Thank you. Okay. So content within the system. So when I log in, well, actually, let me show you on the outside. So you have it on the outside here. So you have the ability to manage this content area. This is your branding. You can monitor this content area here where it says registration form, please fill out the information. You can make sure it's spelled right. Those kind of things. You can monitor the help logging in content area. You can put content here. So this is all configurable to how you want your LMS to look. When I log in, sorry. When I log into my LMS, I will see there are numerous areas within the LMS as well to brand and put content. So on the home page, you can put your information here. Anything on this menu, you can put content in between the two areas. You can also do, when you go to your more details, there's also the ability to put information in specific to courses or specific to learning paths. So here I could actually put content that's relevant to courses specifically. If you have a course catalog that's external from the LMS, a PDF, you can put in here for more information related to this course, or, most of that you'll probably have in your LMS, but if there's anything here that you wanted to mention, or maybe you're trying to promote another course based on the course that they're registering for or looking at, you can put there, manage that content. So there's lots of opportunity to get the message out there. So under other configurations, content page management, you'll see it'll ask you to select a type. It's going to start out with the site pages. So these are all the ones within your LMS that are existing. So we have on the browse training. So if you wanted to put some content on your browse training, you could use that here. Here's where the help logging in was that we talked about. Help on your help within the application, home page. That's when you log in. So here are where all your existing site pages are. The course detail page that we talked about, if you wanted something that would, every time you go to more details on a course, any course, you can have standard message here. So site pages are any pages that are existing within the application today. The other option is content pages. So what are content pages? These are pages that you can develop on your own. You can create these pages and add them to the left-hand menu. As you can see, we have an extra one here, sales and company directory. So there's additional homepage or menu items you could select here, and it'll bring you to a page that you developed from the content pages. You may also create a content page that is external, so it'll create an URL so that you can use that URL within the application. So let's say on your home page you have a message and you want to direct them to that content page. You can direct them straight to that content page. Or you want to send an email to individuals that might not be part of your, they may not be in your LMS, because we do offer training for external clients versus internal. So you could send an email with a page that doesn't make them log in. So if you want to create a standard message on a page and just put the URL within the email, you can do that, and that way they open it up and they don't have to log into the LMS. So if you're trying to promote them to be a part of the LMS, you can send it that way. So just a great opportunity here to kind of get creative in how you want to do your messaging. The third option are e-signatures. So this is something we just added a few months ago, which is a great feature for compliance purposes and anyone who's in the business of trying to confirm that the user that took that course or the curriculum was actually the user that took it. So e-signature pages we added as a next action item on any curriculum. So if you have a library item, it's a document, let's say it's an HR document, and you wanted to just get that extra e-signature that they're the ones that they read it, they understood it, and they're signing off on it. This is where you would create those pages. If it's a course and it's a HIPAA course, and you just want them to sign off that they've completed that HIPAA course, then you would create that page here, and then you add it to the course itself. So those are your three options and how you can, where you can create content. Now I want to show you on my registrations page, you will see the content area kind of has lots of various things going on. I created this, it has an image, it has content, it's you know, if you click here, it's going to open up a PDF document that I created for training. If I click the user guide, it's going to direct me to the URL where the user guide is located at. If I click on course library, it takes me to browse training. So this page kind of has an eclectic mix of some of the things you can do within your pages that kind of make it interactive and visually appealing to the user. So I'm going to use this page as an example. When I go in to content management, page management, I'm going to go back to site pages, and I'm going to go to my registration and show you how this is created. Now this is your design mode. This is for, I mean, most training individuals will probably want to use this this piece of the editor, because it's going to be very similar to Word, similar to, you know, some of those other programs that you're using, Microsoft programs that you're used to. So you can put in charts, you can use the alignment area here. So lots of, you know, the font specifications. So lots of similar things that you're used to, you know, uploading a document, hyperlinks. I mean, we do these in Word and PowerPoint. But those that, there is another option of creating this content in HTML. So a lot of the login pages, our companies use a resource within their company that knows HTML and kind of gets in there and can put more depth in it. So if you're linking out to external websites, if you have a lot of images you want to put within the site or within that page, or if you're, let's say that we have one user has moving characters. So if you have moving characters, maybe you want your internal resource to give you the HTML code for that, and you can copy and paste it directly right into this piece of the content editor, or give them access directly to create it within your editor. I have limited access to HTML, but I do sometimes, the only things I will utilize this for is if I get stuck on it's not quite taking my format. The one thing about the content editor I can say is that it's a great tool when you originally go in and you set it up and you've used it and you've practiced it. So I would suggest practicing on stage before you do it in production, or maybe it's on a page that you don't use. So maybe you could practice on a page you don't use, because then once you get comfortable, you typically don't run into those issues. But if you've changed something a lot of times, let's say I wanted to change this font. Say I changed it from Savoy to like Times Roman, and then I changed it again to Comic Sans, and then I changed it back. Sometimes after like the 5th try, it kind of gets stuck. So sometimes I have to go into HTML and just change that directly. And that's my, you know, my understanding of HTML. I just go in and retype over what's already created. So there are times I'll give that that you have to go in. Sometimes the font size gets stuck at, let's say, 11 point, and I have to manually just change it here, and it sticks. So that's one little tip for you. So how to create this? I created this page with a table. If you're going to have images and content on the same page and you're using the designer, it is best to have a table, because it's going to help you with that spacing that you need. So I went in and I went in and just created my table. I said I wanted 3 rows or 3 columns and 2 rows. That way I could put my headers up here just to give it that nice spacing that you need on the page. You want everything on top of each other, Plus, if you want this one to be centered and this one to be left aligned, then you want it in different cells. And then I could just manage the cells independently. So if I right-click on the image cell, I can give it a different size, which I have, because I want that to be a little wider than the rest of them because it has an image that is bigger. So I wanted the width of that column to be 300 versus the width of the content to be 200. So it's just another way to kind of manage your alignment on the page and just kind of center everything. Now, how to add an image. I went to Cell Properties. When I go to Cell Properties, you'll see the little Image Manager here, and that's where you can click on Image Manager. And then you can upload your image, and then it will be, or you could use an existing image that's in your files. I had to adjust my size because it was quite large, so when I clicked on that image, I went to Image Editor, and as you can see, it's a very large file. So I went to resize it, and that's when it was 3,600, so I went in, and you can do that prior. They do suggest doing it prior to putting it in the system, but if you don't have access to Paint or any kind of photo editor or image editor, you can do it here. Another tip, if you are using an image and your cells get a little bigger based on the content you put next to it, you might want to go into Style Builder and go to Background and make sure your tiling says None, because what it's going to do is if the cell is bigger than the image, it'll duplicate the image until it fits the whole cell. I personally don't like that, but if you're doing that, that's great. But if you don't want that to happen, you could just hit None, and that'll stop. It won't fill the whole cell with multiple images. Another good tool is if you're aligning content within the cell, I would use this instead of these. It seems when you're working with a table, it responds better when you use this alignment than when you use this alignment. Now, to attach my document, I highlighted the word that I wanted the document to be attached to, and I went to the Document Manager. And then you have to upload it similar to the image. I suggest only uploading PDF. One, you never know what version of Word your users are going to be using, so it could cause issues if they don't have the same version as you or how you saved it. Two, obviously you don't want them altering information. So PDF is going to be your best option. And so you'd upload it, and then it would come into your file. And then once you select it, it'll ask you what word that you are using, which I'm not sure why it's not. Usually it'll tell you it's highlighted, so you could put the ID there. And that's the word that will link to that document. I put help, but it should be here. Why it didn't, usually when you highlight it, maybe because I'm doing it for the first time. Let's do one, I'm updating it. Let me try the one that doesn't have. Yeah, see, the link text will populate here. It's probably because I already have it attached, so it wasn't coming up. The other option for attachments, as I said, I did a URL. So what I did was for the user guide, I went in, highlighted user guide, went to my link, and I copied in the URL for where our user guide is housed. And then for course library, I actually went to Browse Training. If I can find it. And I copied that URL up here. And that's where I put, and that's the information I put in for that attachment. So that when they look at their course catalog, it takes them directly to the Browse Training. And you may have an external course catalog. Maybe you have an intranet that your users have access to, and that's where your course library is. So you can link them to that URL. If it's an intranet and they have to log in, it will prompt them to log in. But if it's an external website, it'll take them directly there. You also have the ability to put video. Some of our clients have strategically put video in the login page, the home page, and it's a great way to utilize this function, as well as I've seen help videos on the help page. I think that's a great way to put out some training or for help anyway, specifically if you're going to use this help feature. Well, everybody has it, and you need to put something there. But there were a couple that had videos, which I think is a great idea, so tutorials. And then again, maybe the Chief Learning Officer or Vice President of Training that does a video and you want to put that on the home page, welcoming them to the LMS or promoting some sort of training that's coming in the future. So just a great way to get a message out there. And, you know, video obviously catches, everybody wants to watch a video, right? Any questions about these options or anything that you've tried and just curious how to do or seen somewhere? Nothing? Okay.
Hey, Tommy.
What if you just wanted to insert audio? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I had just a quick question. If you wanted to include links to actual courses, so whether, you know, maybe it's a document that we have housed within the LMS, is there an opportunity to put direct links to some of those learning opportunities?
If there, I'm sorry, Leanne, repeat that again.
Sure. So say you have a document that's already attached and saved within the LMS. Is there a way that you can link people to the, like whether it's a document or maybe a training session, is there a way to link to other learning courses through the content management page?
Yes, good question. So on the more details, so if I went to curriculum, sorry, this is our, test site. If I go here to more details and copy this long URL, so if I wanted to send them to that course specifically, I can attach that URL within my page.
Cool, that's easy. Looks pretty easy to do.
Yeah, and I mean, you can, not going to worry about the formatting. I'm going to paste this in, hit OK. So now when I hit submit and I go to my registrations, it should take me to that course.
Cool, thanks.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Phil. What was your question?
Just inserting, what if you just want to insert audio, not video? Is there ability to do that?
Yes. It's Media Manager. So in the actual, there's a Flash Manager. In the Media Manager, you can upload. We have a test one here that we've done, MP4, but here's the types that you can upload here. MP4s, WMA, so lots of options for audio as well as video.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Tommy, this is Georgette. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Question about e-signature. You specifically mentioned like a HIPAA course. If we had a document that we wanted a user to sign that was attached with a course and we weren't just accepting their completion of the course, how would we utilize that with that e-signature function?
If it's a specific document, you can attach it if you wanted to for them to go through, and then they would actually come back to that page and they can key in. The actual e-signature is their username and password. So when they're prompted, hold on, let me see if I can, I only have 2 minutes, but I think I can do it quickly. When they're prompted to do an e-signature, it's going to show them the content on that page, and it's going to show them, I think I have there we are. And it's going to ask them to key in their credentials. So if I wanted to.
What if it's single sign-on? Will it work with single sign-on?
Yes.
Okay. How do they know what those credentials are? Would it be their primary credentials to get them into this system?
Oh, true.
Because our docs don't come in to the Learn Center. They're forwarded into the Learn Center through their partner portal. And their partner portal sign-on is not the same as their credentials in the Learn Center.
Right. Then that would be, that's a good question, Georgia. I might have to ask how that would work.
Okay.
Let me ask how that would work with single sign-on.
Okay, good. Because what I'm thinking is having a flat, more PDF, and then them do an electronic signature, more of an attestation that they've reviewed the form, is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But I would need to know how that would work.
And Georgia, what company are you with?
Emergency Consultants or ECI Healthcare Partners.
ECI? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me, since I did it, I'll let you see what it looks like, but, oh, I did it to the admin. Darn it. Happens when I'm multitasking. I'll let you see what it looks like when I take it. But that's a good question. Is anyone else on the phone that's single sign-on that would need to know that answer? I want to say HBI might have been on the call. Because I can copy you on it if you need me to. Sorry. I have the IE11. Please hold for technical difficulties. Is there any other questions while I'm getting this ready? No? Okay. All right. All right, so here's once they complete the course, you'll see the e-signature launch. And then this is where the content will display. And if you wanted to have a document attached, you could, or you could just put the information here. And then they would have to do their username and password. So I'd have to find out how that works for SSO.
Okay, great.
Question. All right. Are there any other questions? It is now 12 o'clock, and I don't want to keep anybody, but are there anything, and is there anything else you'd like to see before I move forward?
Tommy, thanks for the quick overview. It was really helpful for just getting a flavor for how it all works. This is definitely something that I'm going to be looking into in the next few weeks. So when I get further into it, I'll probably reach out.
Okay, great. Well, I'm glad, Leanne. I'm glad it was helpful. It does seem a little easier on the calls. I know after our last webinar, the certificate, just blot out some time. Be patient with yourself because it is tedious. Just putting in like that, just that registration page that I did yesterday, and I have a little bit of OCD when it comes to that kind of stuff, so it does take me a little longer, but just spacing and getting things the way you like it, it does take time. So just allow yourself time and be patient with yourself. But it is a great tool, and it does have a lot of functionality for people that aren't familiar with HTML and those types of codes. And so, but it is a great tool, and it is fairly easy. It's just, like I said, it's very tedious, and you just have to be patient with it.
Thanks.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to you all today. Thank you all for joining, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.